Morning. It is 5:48 a.m. and I'm just sitting here out in front of Mr. Mike Prince's house right now because we're going to drive down to Truck 59 Cider House to go and meet our guest, Meggie, today. And then we're going to jog down to the river, same spot that we went to with Brett and Gray a few weeks ago. And yeah, we're going to start our day off with a little bit of cold again. You know how this goes. But actually, we're supposed to be there in 1 minute. And I think Mike's still sleeping right now because I pinged him, well, a couple of times. I pinged him at like 4 a.m. because I was up at 3:30 today. Mind just like crazy vivid dreams lately. Not sure exactly what that's all about, but I find that when I wake up really early in the morning, especially a few days in a row, that I start to trust myself that I need to get up, I need to journal, I need to reflect, I need to sit in my meditation. And the thing that came to me today actually was just calm. There's no other way to explain it. It was just a calmness. And the reflection was that I have the ability to access that calm at any time. It's the opening of myself to receive the energy that allows me to access that calm. And that was a pretty big understanding for me. And yeah, even as, you know, the morning kind of transpired and both of our kids woke up sick, one of them puking. Oh, there's the message from Mike right now. My alarm didn't go off. Oh, he'll be out here soon. I'll maybe keep the camera rolling just so that we can catch him in all of his glory as he rolls in here with the sleepy dust in his eyes. But anyways, yeah, so I woke up and both kids were sick. One of them had been puking last night. The other one peed the bed. And my wife was not happy about it because naturally it disrupted her sleep. And again, I had an opportunity there to feel annoyed, to feel frustrated, to feel reactive, or to just remain calm. And yeah, it wasn't that it wasn't full of irritation or it wasn't uncomfortable, but it was sure nice to access that by choice. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it off and then we will catch Mr. Mike Prince jumping into my vehicle here. And I'm going to go and ping Meggie and let her know that we're on our way. Here he comes. He looks like he just woke up too. Oh, good morning, sunshine. It makes for good TV, you know?
Yeah, I should know better.
How you feeling?
Not bad. There was a little bit of chaos in the Prince household last night.
Oh boy, let me tell you.
I'm not surprised that alarm didn't go off.
Yeah, let me tell you. I just did a reflection this morning talking about how the kids were sick last night and still sick this morning. So, but anyways, now we get to start anew, don't we?
Yep. Yeah, that's why. When I saw that, I was like, "There's no way I'm not. I'll figure out how to get." If you had gone already, I was like, "I'll drive with the Sea-Doo and I'll get there."
Hey, we make it work. No excuses.
That's right.
Here we go. All right, we got some more guests joining us today, Mike.
Yeah.
The Cold Tribe continues to grow and expand. Do they know what they've got themselves into? Meggie, have you ever done a cold plunge before?
Yes, I have.
Oh, you have? Okay. Well, that's good. Have you ever done it in a river?
Yes, I haven't done it in a freezer, so.
Oh, well, this is easy.
Yeah.
This is easy. We'll look to you for tips then today.
We'll see.
So let's maybe just introduce you really quickly. What brought you to this area even too? Because I can't help but notice that you have a slight accent as well. Where are you from originally?
Yeah, I'm from Quebec, and I've been out here for like 9 years, so it's been a long time.
Okay, yeah.
Because of the mountains and everything
The same
else.
reason everybody else comes, right? I'm from Saskatchewan, he's from Ontario.
Oh, really? Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Are you guys from here as well?
I'm from Quebec, actually.
Quebec as well? Cool. There. Nova Scotia, there you go. We're coast to coast. That's funny, eh?
Yeah, it's just, I'm always in transit, so, in the Canada, and right now it's here. Kelowna.
Beautiful. Yeah, we saw your big van when we walked down here, and looks like there'd be tons of space in that thing to just live the good life.
Yep.
Go wherever the surf is if we had surf here, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Or the drum circles. Well, you said you were in Penticton the other day, eh?
Yeah, so I lead a drum circle every week. I started that a couple of weeks ago.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been amazing. So,
And where do you do them all over the place then, or typically in Penticton?
yeah, I would spend a couple months in South Korea this winter.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was really great. And I was part of a drum circle there, and I decided to come to Penticton for a couple months because I have friends there, and I can just visit the park very easy. So I live there, and I have friends in Kelowna. So, but because I wanted to come, so it doesn't matter if no one show up.
Yeah,
You
it's
just have to make it happen, and a lot of people have been showing up. It's great.
that's cool. Well, that's no different than kind of what we're doing here, really. You know, is you start showing up because it's something that you feel a calling to do, right? And then put the call outs, and people start magically showing up. Imagine that, eh?
Really. Yeah, you don't know. Like, you have to do things like really based on, you know, to show up every day and everything that you do in life. It's like you need to be interested in doing it, and then it's just a lot less to do it. You just show up, you just do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm looking forward to chatting with you about your work too when we get in the river. We'll save it for when we get in the river, but Mike and I were actually talking about ADHD this morning, and I know you've written a book around that topic and support people in this area, so I think we're gonna have a good conversation today. As I smack you in the face with a bush. Sorry about that. All right, we're almost there. Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Cold.
Yeah, Christine's here too.
Already.
Cold? What do you mean cold? Did you already go in?
No, I didn't get much sleep last night and I feel cold more. So I'm really looking forward to today.
Morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you, Mike?
Good.
Good.
Yes, we have some other guests joining us here today as well.
Hello.
Christine. Yeah, want to introduce yourselves?
Hey, I'm Meggie.
Nikki?
Meggie.
Nice to meet you.
Jake, nice to meet you. Hello.
And I
Nice
think
to
you've met
meet you.
Christine.
I met you last time. I'm Gray.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, so we just got here and I was thinking, oh man, is it 6:30 already? And I looked and it was 6:31, so perfect timing. Well, I was still late, so I apologize for that.
1 minute, it doesn't count.
At least we showed up this time, right?
Much right on time.
Yes, you do.
Yeah,
6:30 is usually the time.
yeah. I think you were around when we did this one last time, weren't you? With the rock, Christine?
I believe so.
When Mike went in his birthday suit, you would
No,
remember.
I wasn't there for that.
Oh, you weren't there for that. Oh, okay. Well, this will be a new experience.
Clarification. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Birthday suits are optional today.
Okay. Well, let's just close down our eyes and start to relax. Start to settle in your seats. Start to connect with our surroundings. We see the Sound of the river flowing. Feel the gentle breeze coming through the trees through here. Feel the sounds of the birds. Feel your energy just settling right there. Today, I think the theme delivered itself based on, I know, at least a couple of ours last 24 hours. And that is that it's important for us all, amongst what could be considered chaos, to find the calm and to always do our best to keep centered. Know that if things do feel crazy and chaotic, everything around us, everything that's put in front of us, all the challenges, all the little things that may seem massive at the time, are there for a reason. With teachings, we can just be kind to ourselves and others and observe. Know that nothing in life is put in front of us we can't handle. So know that whatever has brought us to today has all been on purpose. All been for a reason, including arriving at this very spot, connecting with these very people around us. Just want us to ground in that intention as we go into some breath. Just going to do 2 rounds of breath this morning. Conscious connected breathing. So I will guide, but when I say go, I'm going to do breath in through the nose, no rest at the top, and then breathe out through the mouth. No rest at the bottom, right back into the breath. We're going to do about 15 of those. I will keep track of count, no worries there. And then to a release out the mouth, and a hold at the bottom for about a 15-20-second hold. And again, I'll guide. And then in through the nose as you let your spine rise. And you'll hold at the top again, about the same amount. Then you'll release, and you'll go right into round 2. Okay? I want us to really connect with our surroundings as we go through this. Again, just harness in the calm. If you're feeling like getting fired up this morning and feeling very energetic, you can force the breath a little bit. If you want to keep nice and calm, you can just do nice, gentle breath. Whatever you're feeling this morning is perfect. Let's start the breath. 3, 2, 1. Three more breaths. And release. Hold at the bottom. Pull the rest of the air out of your lungs, and we'll inhale through our nose in 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top. Feel the energies rising up through your spine. Crown chakra. Maybe put a bit of a smile on your face during this hold. Three, two, one. Release everything. Let's go right into round 2 with the breath. Few more breath. And release to hold. Again, coming back to that smile on your face. Maybe gaze with your third eye up towards the right of the sky a little bit. Really just embracing the moment. And you found a little bit of energy buzzing in your body. The awakeness. Yeah. Harnessing the beauty of being able to start new each day. When you're ready, you can release. One last final hold, breath in through the nose, hold at the top. To guide your last hold as long as you like. You can listen to the beauty of this song. Just do one final big breath together, deeply in. Yeah. Let's leave today's breath the way we always do. Place of gratitude. Our left hand over our heart. Our right hand over top of that. Find the warmth. Being grateful for this day. Everything it's going to bring us. Let's take forward. Beautiful. I realize that music probably only served us, but I got it. Okay, good.
Good. All right.
Anybody else hear that big crack during the big stuff?
Yeah.
I was tempted to open my eyes and I was like, no, everything will be fine. There's no bear. For me, it was a truck. I heard that one, yeah. Yeah. It's it. And it's like, I'm looking over her face and it's right here. He's meditating.
That actually reminded me of something. I've had these like crazy dreams lately.
Yeah, over the last like 2 days, maybe.
How's it looking today? Let's see the proof.
You want to see?
Yeah, we want
You
to see the
can't-
tub.
You can't see the ice. Like it's,
Oh, ice is melted already.
yeah. Well, 20
All right,
minutes
well,
of meditation and breathing.
Well-
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. All right. Well, it's nice and juicy for you now. Ready
Oh,
to
yeah.
go.
That it is. Is it time to dip a toe?
Yes, we are going in
Okay.
as soon as Mike gets the camera set up.
Let's do this.
I always captain them going in first so they get that extra 10 seconds in the water. Nice seeing the camera guy. Guess I should have went in first. And here we go.
You guys know it's deep over here. You can actually come over here instead of kneeling. You can literally.
Holy man, is it ever deep over here? Oh,
Is it cold?
get you all in the shot there. We got some good echo chamber in here, though. Some good acoustics.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Now we got everybody.
Spot we have. It's like a little bit of a cave overhang. Randy.
Trying to see it here.
Wow.
Just close your eyes, Christine. Imagine that you're there.
Yeah.
They're in here with us.
Mhm.
Oh. But yeah, I think you were right, Mike, about the calm being the theme that I seem to show up. Yeah, everywhere from last night right through to this morning.
Definitely. And it's easy for us to get caught up in it, right? And allow the chaos, of course, to get us stressed out at times and anxious and all the things. And it's funny, I actually just read a text before that started to get me, right before that meditation. And I was like, no. And I loved it, actually. It entered my meditation a little bit in the way I'm going to resolve it in a calm way instead of it ruining my moment. I experienced what I'm going to do is solve it really in flow.
Yeah.
So it was really, really neat. And that's, I think, how we choose our moments, right? And how we react to these things. And that was one where I just was able to shift it. And I think that's important for us to do is when we're in it, it's hard to see it from outside, right? But if we can step back and just snap ourselves out for a split second, that's where we're going to win and say, wait a minute, do I need to be stressed right now? What can I control on this situation? Or if we can't control any of it, let it flow and be okay with that, right? And we're gonna have those days, sometimes weeks.
Well, it's kind of the metaphor for why we come into this cold. So we're always interested to know, especially from our new guests, what motivated you to even come here today?
I'm an early person. I like to wake up early anyways. So I've always been a fan of water. I like being outside. Ooh, you feel the lungs, eh? Yeah, so for me, it was just, I don't know, take the chance and learn something different, feel something different. I rarely meditate. So to be honest, that was actually really nice for me. I don't know, I rarely take time to just relax. I'm kind of always on the go. So it's definitely something that I want to change. So you guys always seem zen, or at least you. Gray's always chaos, but that's been zen. So it just kind of seemed like a sign for me to go, especially after my knee and stuff too. I was a little down the last couple of weeks, so it seems like a good pick me up, and I've been enjoying it. That's for sure.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you sharing that, because that's not always easy even to say out loud, is to just, I want there to be more calm in my life.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times if that was Big Mama wanting to come in the river. What brought you here, Maggie?
To challenge my comfort zone. I am not a morning person, but I thought it was so fun that you did it this early, and it motivated me to just do something just a little different than what I'm used to, like waking up early and just challenge it a bit of what I'm used and comfortable with. And it's much easier to stay in the cold with a friend.
Yeah.
For much longer.
Yeah.
And it's as we do, I think, just in life in general, like we can lean a little bit to everyone's strength and how courageous or strong they are, and we can lean a bit to that when we lean. So that if everyone get up, I'll probably be tempted to get up as we all stay here, we just all do this together, and we're much stronger together.
100%. Yeah, and I want to come back and talk to you about the ADHD stuff, but Mr. Proclaimed Chaos over here. Yeah, we say that kind of jokingly, but I've talked to you a few times on the walks back even too, and you got a lot going on in your life, man, but you chose to show up again, third week in a row.
Yeah.
What's this meaning to you?
It's a dedication. It was the first day that we did it. I didn't eat fast food all day. And that kind of sparked the, you know what, I'm going to keep this good ball rolling. And I've been doing so. Like last week, I had fast food once the whole week and just made home cooked meals. And then this week we're running the same plan. I'm going no fast food. And this comes from somebody who eats McDonald's breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. So,
all right. So this is a big shift.
Yeah, this is like, it doesn't sound impressive, but it really is huge.
Yeah.
I got a quick side note for you on that. It'll hopefully help your journey. I was listening to a podcast yesterday on this, in fact, and it's very interesting. But the one quick takeaway from the piece that I was watching was that if we only remember our body is made up of a bunch of cells, and those cells are made from our intake. So if we're taking in fast food and things like that, that's what our body is made up of. It's as the reproducing cells, right? It's made out of what we put in our body. It's not a good one for you that as you're, and of course we got to give ourselves our little treats. Yeah. But, for a lot of, this was using the US as of course the example. No wonder people are riddled with diabetes. No wonder they feel like crap. No wonder they're overweight, because they're built and born into a fast food society.
Yeah.
Right? But it's another brain tool for you to help you on your journey.
Long haul for this one, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what a great transition you just gave me, Mike, to talk about ADHD too, because I wanted to ask you about this, because we were actually just discussing it on the way over. Mike and I both have young kids, boys that are under 5, and they're both extremely hyper and extremely angry right now. And in the same context of what you were saying about our environments and the foods that we eat and that type of thing and how they can impact. And even, I think of cancer, like you get cancer, and if you think, oh, I got cancer, you immediately almost make it worse, like when you accept it, right? Yeah. So I just want to open the space because I'd love for you to explain exactly the work that you do and why, like the background. Because when you see that, you're like, oh, there must be a history there or a story behind that. So I'd love for you to just share.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you wrote a book too.
I did.
And we'll get you talking because I can see you shivering. And when you talk, it goes away.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was interesting because I grew up in a family that we didn't really, my parents were not aware of any kind of diagnosis of this kind, and it wasn't really even accepted. It was shame, right? It was kind of like, but we didn't get a lot of help. One of my older brothers is autistic, and a couple of us, we 6 kids in my family, so a couple of us probably have ADHD and anxiety, but it wasn't something that my parents saw. And I personally struggled a lot when I was in high school and younger, just with attention in school. But I was too proud to say anything, and I kind of just did all my homework back at home every day. I was not aware of even what was happening with me, and I was just working harder and harder to try to do the same thing other people were doing. And this thing that we do, and women are really good at this, at masking, at just pretending everything is fine all the time, just to try to fit in society. And you don't want to be the person that struggle more. You don't want to be the person that's need extra help and all that, because then and you kind of feel excluded. So you're trying to fit in. And for me, what really changed, and I used to have a lot of this kind of hyperactivity in doing a lot of different things, and a lot of things that just trying to find myself in those things and where I belong. But then I was taking too much, doing too much. Paragliding was part of that too. I just wanted to be part of the community. I just was always seeking the next best thing, and I was just never stopped. And I was just taking too much all the time, and I wasn't really happy. Like now that I reflect on it, I wasn't really happy because I was always running to find the thing. And then I had a paragliding crash that broke my back and injured my spinal cord.
Oh, no kidding.
And
Wow.
that's really what allowed me to. I had to slow down. There was no way I could leave. And in the moment after my crash, the thing with my body was still the same. And it wasn't the same anymore, but my mind was different. And I'm complete opposite. The body was different and the mind was the same. So just trying to do things with this body that now had to rest all the time because they did 2 pretty good surgery. It was really difficult, and I had to learn how to be in my body because now I had a part of my body was a little paralyzed, and all my basic function, like going to the bathroom, not working. And it's like something that we take for granted, right? Yeah. It's like just that sensation of needing to do that. So I struggled a lot with that and pushing through that, and went through a lot of waves. But the more I did this, and the more I tried to find myself in that and heal from that, I actually started relaxing and changing, because now I had to learn how to operate this new body. And I started working with just some of the beliefs I had before, and now I couldn't have, that's not the right word, or like that I couldn't, it was killing me, some of those beliefs. I actually like had those thoughts sometimes. So I had to change that in my life. And interestingly, the more I did this, the more I started teaching people that I myself, like when and would come back to my body and bringing the mind down. Because a lot of people, they need to, what happens, too much going on in the mind here. And it's simply to say someone to be in the body when they operated here for so long, it's just not that easy. And so the work I do now, and I'm a real therapist, and I think what really is important when you teach other coaches and you work with ADHD people and ADHD coaches,
bring the ADHD client to me too, because whatever you can teach someone in tools in their life, if they can't integrate it and embody, it can't be part of their life. And they always get oversaturated with thoughts in the shadow box. We were just talking about that. It's always, you're always thinking, always making stories and that kind of stuff. So it's like bridging the gap on how to help them be a little less in the head, but then reshifting those patterns that they have, so to help them accomplish more in their life. And my book is called Finish What You Start. So,
Very fitting.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How did it work?
Yeah, for sure. Especially we were talking about paragliding as we were coming over here too, even, and saying that we did commit to doing that. And I've got another 3.5 weeks until we leave here, so we're gonna make that happen.
Yeah.
But just thinking about breath work and meditation, and all of these modalities that we have access to, that sometimes we think, well, it's too simple. Like, how could that possibly create any kind of shift in my life? But it's actually the simplest things that, in my experience, have created the greatest shifts. It's just that we don't see them. We don't recognize it.
Yeah. Journaling.
Yeah.
Reflection, music, breath.
Yeah. And just consistency with it, right?
Nature.
Nature. Yeah. Yeah. Because I know, and I guess that's what I was kind of alluding to when I asked you the question too, was how much of our ailments in society are actually a result of our thoughts and our beliefs, and not so much our physiological makeup. We're always so reactive to go to the pharmaceuticals and the medicine and stuff, as opposed to believing that we can heal ourselves. So this is part of it. Having conversations like this and sitting in the cold and feeling the fish nibbling on your legs.
I told you, it's real.
Has anybody else felt any?
He's right there. I like it.
Yeah, I had a little guy. Is there one over there?
Yeah. Like a little tread or something.
Yeah, I had one nibbling on my ankle for a little bit. Christine, how you doing over there?
Doing good.
I was like, did she learn to go to sleep in the ice?
She is so zen. She's just sleeping over there.
Just chilling out.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will lead the charge for all of us to say that's another good session. Let's get out.
This episode.
That was a good one. So this is episode 20. Is it 20 or 21?
I don't know.
We'll call it 20. Episode 20 of the Cold Plunge.
True.
See, Green knows.
This time. 1 by 1.
Yeah, see, this is where we have to put the manual together before we do all this, so people know. Bring your running shoes, make sure you have a bathing suit on, and you will be called on to say truth at the end. So but we're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah, it's just terrible planning by the two of us. What do you do? We're gonna be calm and forgive ourselves. So.
Put our head in the water.
Oh, do it.
Oh, you dipping the head in? All right.
Did it last time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Full baptism.
Better.
All right, Christine.
Okay.
We did it again. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Tell us what's coming up for you, especially considering the conversation that we had yesterday, which was amazing.
Yeah.
Reflect on that in your share here today. What's what that was like, and even watching yourself in the video that I shared with you, and then now coming to this, and how all that stuff is tied together, because it is, it is, right?
It is, absolutely. Hey there. So I just finished my 4th cold plunge, and it was exhilarating as always. I was very sleepy this morning. I didn't get much sleep at all and was feeling very cold before I even got in. So yeah, it was definitely more cold than it was last week for me. But yeah, I feel completely energized once again. It keeps pushing my boundaries. It keeps me from getting too comfortable. And I like that because it reminds me that I can do uncomfortable things and and survive and actually benefit from it, because like I said, I have way more energy, and I think I'm even sleeping better, and yeah, it's really good. Anyway, Trevor asked me to reflect on a meeting we had last night with the Source Collective. It's a group call we do every 2 weeks, and I spoke about how I used to wake up every morning and wonder, what the fuck is the point? Why am I here? Every day, wake up at the same time, go to the same job, come home, eat dinner, watch cable or Netflix, and then go to sleep, repeat the next day. I was living life asleep, and it took about 18 months of a deep depression to finally wake me up and realize that I wasn't living the life I wanted to. Not at all. And I wasn't going to accept it anymore. I had to redefine the relationship with myself. I had to discover what it was that I wanted and what I wanted to do with my life. And that's what I did. And it's been the best year since that I've had in a very long time. Trevor sent me a video clip from the meeting, and it was me talking about this. And at first it scared me. I didn't know if I wanted to put it out in the world. It is the hard, cold truth that I feel like I wasted most of my adult life asleep. But it is the truth, and that's what I'm about. I'm sharing my truth. So yeah, it was hard, but I ended up liking it, and I am going to share it today on LinkedIn. And I'm proud of how far I've come. I've come a very long way.
Whew. So a little reflection as we are out of the river and walking, and you were walking barefooted. I'm looking at it thinking, my Lord, my feet would have dropped after about 10 feet, but you must have strong feet.
Yeah, it's my natural state,
Yeah, no doubt. But hey, we were just having a great conversation about kind of picking up on what we were discussing in the river, which is ADHD and these labels and naturally the reality that is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. I'd love for you to just speak a little bit about your work and like who you work with, because we were talking a lot about kids, right? And naturally how these screens like this thing we're recording on right now play a big impact in that, in what we're even seeing with ADHD and whatnot with kids. But you were just explaining to me that you primarily work with adults.
Yes.
And maybe explain to me why and how and what that looks like.
Yeah, so I primarily only really work with adults, because with young kids, they just need more support in that time, right? In a different ways. And when we become adults, it's kind of a duty to take the steps to outgrow some of those patterns that we have when we were younger that we didn't really get to choose, or the environment we lived in. We didn't get to choose what we learned and how we had to behave to survive.
Right.
But when we become adult, then we have this.
We have some choices.
Yeah, we have choices. We
whether we believe it or not, sometimes, right?
Exactly, right? How much we think we're sovereign beings, so we get to decide and be who we want to be, and we do those things sometimes to try to fit in a society and to belong. And so for some people, it feels more comfortable to stay stuck in some of those patterns of belief that they have about themselves
because in some ways it's predictable too and feels safer because of that.
Yeah.
That maybe in some ways they get be going up.
We'll slow down. It's hard to talk and walk when you're going up a hill.
But when I talk with the adults who, I see the benefit of diagnosis, and sometimes I hate it too because some people get stuck in it.
Mm-hmm.
But the benefit of it is what I find is for a lot of people, that's the first thing they do. They just know something is off. And the first step is they decide to go seek a diagnosis of any kind, of talk to the doctor or something.
What's wrong with me? Let me put some type of a label on it so that I feel at least normal in my smaller circle of unnormal or whatever it is, right?
Yeah, right? But it's not, and I think in some ways, for some people, it's the first thing they're like, okay, it's not me, I'm not totally broken, it's ADHD. And then from that place, that's where the work begins. It's not when it ends, because it's like, okay, now I can understand, I can put words, I can put an understanding of some of the symptoms. And because you start understanding the symptoms, you can start actually also seeing them. Right, you can read about them, and then once you start seeing symptoms and some of your patterns and behaviors, because now you have language for it, that's when you can start making changing them. And nothing is fast. So if someone decide that they want to start taking that kind of work, it's not something in one day. It's totally you change completely, but it's little things you have to do every day. And then when you decide, have some clients that come to me for all kind of reasons, ADHD, but it's one that is impulsivity can be really harmful for people in their life. The way they overreact, the way they talk, and then that cascades in different events in their life, create more stress, create more inattention, increasing the effect of the symptoms. But sometimes just understand doing the work that they need to do for those other things that they know they want to change, end up having a ripple effect in all areas of their life. Mm-hmm. But because they understand now, they have the symptoms and
they have an awareness to it.
So it starts there. So I don't believe in medication for ADHD, but that's my belief because I think they just work like glasses as well, right? So if you can't see, you put glasses on, and then you can see better. But at the end of the day, your eyes are still
you're not fixing the problem.
Exactly. So medication work that way. For some people, they just rely on medication all the time for ADHD, and then every day they go back. At the end of the day, they go back to how they woke up the morning of, right? So, but and they're made to believe that they can't change, that they're just the brain work. But we know that we can change the neurons, so can change our brain. Every day our brain is changing. And so we can change some of those things in the long term. And I've experienced it because I wouldn't be saying that if I didn't know it was possible, because I had the same story that people were saying, and people I fought about with me on that, saying, it's just a condition for the rest of your life. But I think it's so limiting. There's so much more than that. It's so much more powerful than that. And it benefits some people for us to believe that. Because we cannot go everything in anything. We just need to take the time to do it.
Yeah. Well, I was up at 3 a.m. this morning, and I just trust myself now when I wake up at 3, and I'm like, initially you think, oh my God, I just got to go back to sleep. But then you go, no, I'm supposed to be up right now. I don't know why, but I'm going to get up. And I'm going to do something productive too, which when I mean that, I just mean like sitting in silence and meditating or journaling or just reading something. And I read this quote today. It was like a proverb, an old proverb. I'll try and link it up in the video, but it was essentially, we can't reach heaven. Or how did it go? It was like, in order to reach the heights of heaven, you have to have roots that go all the way. Oh yeah, it is working. Okay. I'm not sure where that cut off, but I was just saying that I read this proverb or this saying this morning that talked about in order for us to reach the heights of heaven, we have to have
roots that reach down to hell, which basically means kind of what you were just alluding to there, right? If you're going to support people with something like the label that is ADHD, and a person just creating awareness around it so they can take the first step towards finding the root cause and the healing around it, you have to have gone through it. And you have, right? So, and it's never a pleasant journey. It's always painful, discomforting. It's not fun, right? But to know that you're not alone and you have somebody like Meggie here that can support you on that, it's incredibly important, because a lot of times people just don't talk about it because there's shame around it, or they don't feel normal. But the truth is, and we were saying that before too, is that not normal is actually the new normal. Embrace the not normal, because it actually means that you're ultra creative and unique and have a lot of gifts and imagination and creativity to bring to the world. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Strong fire, like, you know, a soul. People with ADHD that I talk with, they have so much ideas and, like you said, creativity, and they have so much they want to accomplish, and they're so powerful. So they can do whatever they want and put their mind to. They just have to help them through that.
That's
to
right.
make clarity and all that.
yes. Well, and a part of that is jumping in cold water, I guess. It must be part of the modalities that you could use in the future. So thanks so much for coming with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and we'll see you again, maybe.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Until next time, have a powerful day.